Welcome to part 3 of the TRIP and RCHR NeighborWorks Homeownership Center's online orientation. Thanks for sticking with us through part 1 and part 2. Now let's finish on with this third and final session. In this portion, we're going to talk about some of the programs that are out there and how you can qualify. Let's get started. For a lot of these programs, you will see that you need to be a first-time homebuyer. So let's talk about that definition a little bit further. Of course, a person who has never owned a home before is considered a first-time homebuyer. But you might be surprised to know that there are additional ways for you to be considered a first-time homebuyer. If you have previously owned a home in the past, have sold it, and are now purchasing a new home for the first time on your own, you will be considered a first-time homebuyer. Additionally, if you've owned a home in the past with a spouse and are now purchasing for the first time on your own, you are also considered a first-time homebuyer. And finally, for anyone who might own a mobile home that's not affixed to a permanent foundation, you will also be considered a first-time homebuyer. So in these next set of slides, you're going to hear about our Small Cities Down Payment Assistance Program, our Home Buyer Incentive Program, or our HIP program, the Sunny May Neighborhood Revitalization Program, and the Home Buyer Dream Program. The Home Buyer Incentive Program, or HIP, services the City of Troy and Lansingburg. Small Cities services all of Rensselaer County outside the City of Troy. Please note that currently for our Small Cities program, we are only accepting applications for a wait list. Once we receive official notification for the funding for this program, we will be sure to update all of our clients. Our Homebuyer Incentive Program, HIP, again is available for down payment and closing cost assistance through the City of Troy and Lansingburg. The funds for this program are directly through our HUD's home program, and grant amounts vary by income and household size. As you can see in the chart below, the income guidelines to qualify for HIP are based on the HUD area median income. There are two grant amounts. In order to receive a $15,000 grant, the total household income would need to be at or below 80% of the HUD area median income. To qualify for the $20,000 grant, the total household income would need to be at or below 60% of the HUD area median income. Review the chart to see the income amounts and if you would qualify. Be sure to check back with our organization for up-to-date information as programs and guidelines change on a regular basis. In order for a property to be eligible for the Homebuyer Incentive Program, it must be your primary residence for 10 years. It will also need to meet both code and lead guidelines, and if it's in a flood zone, you will have to let us know. You can purchase a 1 or 2 unit property as long as you're within our 33 over 42% guidelines. It is important to keep in mind that you will always have to abide by the stricter of any ratio lending guidelines. If the Homebuyer Incentive Program says that you can only purchase a $100,000 house, but a loan program says you can purchase a $105,000 house, you need to abide by those stricter guidelines, and vice versa. If the loan program says you can only purchase a $100,000 house, but we say $105,000, again, you're going to have to abide by the stricter of the guidelines and go with the lending program. This is something we will go over thoroughly with you in your individual appointments. In order to apply for HIP, you must meet these guidelines. You will have to have a certification for attending counseling and education, have at least $1,500 in bank accounts that haven't been touched for 3 months, be able to obtain a mortgage pre-approval, have no open collections, charge-offs, judgments, tax liens, and be under the income guidelines. Keep in mind that the income guidelines for this program specifically only look at taxable income and any taxable income for adults 17 or older living in that household. Please keep in mind that you cannot be under contract prior to getting approval for this program. Once you've purchased a property with the HIP funds, there are a couple of guidelines you want to make sure you're abiding by. There will be a 10-year lien that's placed on the home. As long as you stay in the home and do not move out of the home for 10 years, it will be fully forgiven. Please keep in mind that if you do have to move out or sell the home prior to that time period, you will have to pay back the full amount of the grant. This is to make sure that we're not instilling absentee landlords in the City of Troy. We want to make sure we're doing our part for a sustainable community in future. You must also participate in post-purchase counseling, which is just going to go over how things really are now that we've closed on the home, how to plan for future expenses, talk about energy efficiency, and sustainable homeownership. You will be required to take 5 out of the 7 home maintenance training courses to make sure that we are giving you as much education and guidance for sustainable, successful homeownership. Again, for small cities, we have a wait list only, and we're accepting waitlist applications at this time. This program is intended to be down payment and closing cost assistance for people who are purchasing in Rensselaer County outside the City of Troy. Grant amounts vary by income and household size, but other than that, we're going to hold on giving off too much information because the program is not currently up and running. One program that is up and running is the Sunny May Neighborhood Revitalization Program, or NRP. This is $20,000 cash assistance to fix up a vacant property. It's available in Rensselaer counties and many surrounding areas, excluding Saratoga County. In order to participate in this program, you do not have to be a first-time home buyer. However, once you purchase the house, it does have to be your primary residence for 10 years. You can use this program to purchase a 1, 2, 4 unit property, and there are no purchase price limits. As you can see, for a 1 or 2 person household, the maximum income coming into that household can be at $129,600 or less. You will need to participate in homebuyer education and counseling to use this program. Additionally, this program will need to be combined with the Sunny Mae loan. It can be any of the Sunny Mae loans that are available, including the Sunny Mae Remodel New York. Let's stop right there for a second and talk about renovation loans. So Sunny Mae Remodel New York is a renovation loan that's similar to other renovation loans out there. A renovation loan gives you the ability to both purchase a house and build in the cost to repair the home into that loan. For example, if I'm purchasing a house that costs $60,000 but needs $40,000 worth of repairs, in a renovation loan, you will be taking out a $100,000 loan for that house. 60 for the house, 40 for the repairs equals $100,000. With the vacant property program, how that would work is instead of taking out that $100,000 loan, a $20,000 grant will replace $20,000 worth of that work. So it'll be $60,000 for the house, and you will only need an additional $20,000 for the loan. So the loan will then end up being $80,000 instead of $100,000. Make sure you talk to your counselor further to figure out how to best combine this and get this program to work for you. One thing you want to keep in mind is that if you're looking to purchase a multi-unit property, only the unit that you are residing in has to be vacant at the time of contract all the way through closing in order to qualify for this program. Again, contact your counselor to talk more about this. The last program we're going to talk about today is the Homebuyer Dream Program. This program is run and regulated through the Federal Home Loan Bank of New York and offers grant amounts up to $14,500 through participating lenders. In order for a property to be eligible for this program, it must be purchased in New York, New Jersey, Puerto Rico, or the U.S. Virgin Islands, and can be a 1 to 4 unit. Please keep in mind that if you are purchasing a multi-unit, when we talk about income guidelines, 75% of the income being received from the additional units will be used towards your income calculation. I'll talk about that in the next slide. This program will open up in June 1st this year and will have 4 consecutive monthly disbursements in June, July, August, and September. If there happens to be any money left over from any of those months, all of it will be added up together and dispersed in 1 more month in October. Eligible households for the Homebuyer Dream Program must be first-time homebuyers as defined by HUD. You also have to be using a participating lender, so make sure you're checking with your counselors to find out who does participate in our area. You will have to complete homebuyer counseling and education, meet income guidelines, and provide a fully executed purchase contract at the time of application. Additionally, you will have to contribute a minimum of $1,000 towards the purchase of your home. Upon receiving the funds, a 5-year lien will be put on the home. As long as you stay in the home and do not move out of the home for 5 years, it will be fully forgiven. In the event that you need to move out of that home prior to the 5 years, this is a prorated grant, so you will not owe back the full amount of the grant, just whatever is remaining, as it's prorated and forgiven a portion each month that you stay in that house. Prior to applying for the Homebuyer Dream Program, you need to make sure you're doing counseling and education, because the trickier part about this program is that you cannot apply for this program until you are under contract on a home. Additionally, if you are planning on utilizing other down payment programs, you really want to make sure that you're talking with your counselor to make sure you can line everything up properly. Take note that the Homebuyer Incentive Program, which is the $15,000 or $20,000 down payment assistance program for City of Troy, requires that you are not under contract prior to applying for that grant. However, the Homebuyer Dream Program states that you have to be under contract prior to applying for this program. It's going to be key to make sure that you are talking with your counselors to lay out your exact stepping stones to make sure that you can qualify for as many programs as possible. And that counselor will help guide you on that path to get you there. Additionally, keep in mind that the area median income guidelines for this program do change just like any of the other programs. So check back with your counselor to make sure that we have the most up-to-date income guidelines for you to start this program. For those household guidelines, please see that a household size of 1 or 2, you would have to make below $69,120,000 to qualify. And for a household size of 3 or more, you do see that increases. Here is where we want to pay attention that if we're purchasing a multi-unit house, 75% of the rental income that you will be receiving is going to be added towards your total household income. We want to make sure we're paying attention to this if you are looking to purchase a multi-unit house to make sure that you are still within qualifying income guidelines when we're adding in that rental income. Again, talk to that counselor that you have to make sure that you are setting yourself up for success and qualifying for all programs possible. All right, so how long is this going to take? Well, that's going to depend. Each one of you is going to have a different path from the next person. Some of you might be ready to go right into pre-purchase counseling. You might be able to go right into purchasing a house in a couple of months and close. Others of you might have some credit obligations, maybe some derogatory information, collections, judgments. Maybe we have a high debt. You might have some stepping stones that you have to work on prior to even working on the pre-purchase path. For those of you who might have that work, financial stepping stones we need to build, you're going to go to Spend Smart first and then go into financial coaching. When you're ready to graduate into homeownership, you'll jump right into that pre-purchase counseling path. Additionally, on this slide, you can see how we can layer in all those programs we just talked about, but it's really important to make sure that you're talking with your counselor to talk about when is the appropriate time to be applying for all of these programs. Overall, we're going to make sure that we're going to research, educate, and have clear and open communication so we can get you right to the closing on that home in a timely manner. So let's talk about our fees. Here you will see a fee structure that outlines all the programs that we offer. Please note that all fees are non-refundable and must be paid prior to the appointment. Additionally, there will be no charge for anyone who is at or below 30% of the area median income. If you feel you meet those guidelines, please come talk to us so that way we can help get you on the right path. We have 3 packages for the pre-purchase process. We have a pre-purchase counseling package that is $150 and includes all of your counseling sessions, 2 credit reports, and that in-person homebuyer education course. For those of you who might only need 1 counseling session and limited support, we have a smaller package, our pre-purchase homebuyer dream package, which is $50. This includes 1 counseling session and 1 credit report. And then you're going to pay on your own for either in-person homebuyer education or online homebuyer education, whichever fits your needs better. Our financial coaching package is a total of $100. You can either pay that upfront or as you go. The first session that you're going to attend is going to include your credit report fee, our fee for our Spend Smart class, both part 1 and part 2, and that actual coaching session. That fee will be $50. However, prior to getting to that first session, you will already have pulled a soft pull credit report, which is $16.48. You will also have paid for Spend Smart, which is $15. So truly, at that first coaching session, you will only be paying the remainder of the $50 fee, which is $18.52. Then the 2 consecutive sessions will be $25 each. After those 3 coaching sessions, you actually will not have to pay for any other sessions. Once you are done with financial coaching, you will graduate up into pre-purchase and only have to pay the difference between the 2. So if you paid $100 for financial coaching, but pre-purchase is $150, we're just going to make you pay that $50 difference. Additional services or fees you may have to pay for are additional credit reports, as that is a fee that the credit report servicing agency refers to us, so we just refer that back onto you guys. Or if you decide to take online homebuyer education through eHome America, that does cost more money than the in-person education course. For the pre-purchase package, the session costs $150. Prior to that session, you will have, again, paid $16.48 for that soft credit pull. So at that first session, you will really only have to pay $133.52. There will be no fees assigned for any additional sessions. You will also have the ability for 1 more soft pull credit report. That package also will include your homebuyer education fee, so you will not have to pay for anything else moving forward. The only time you will have to pay additional money, again, is if you're getting additional credit reports above and beyond what is included in your package, or if you decide to do online homebuyer education instead of in-person homebuyer education. And these examples, it's just showing how a person can go from financial coaching and graduate into pre-purchase. So for the financial coaching example, it's all the same. You pay the $50, but it's broken down into Spend Smart, the credit report, and then the final 2 sessions. So if you've gone from financial coaching, you will already have paid $100. And then once you're ready to graduate to pre-purchase, for that session, you will only have to pay $50, which does include that second credit report. So in total, you will have paid $150. You will have gotten Spend Smart, 2 credit reports, all of your coaching sessions, all of your counseling sessions, and in-person homebuyer education. So to move forward, what are we going to do next? The very next thing you want to do is fill out your credit report authorization form. These forms here give us authorization to both pull your credit and releases the liability of the servicer, which is Credco, who compiles the information into a legible format for us. As you can see on the credit report authorization form, the fee is $16.48 per person. So for a household that has 2 people that are going to be on the mortgage, we will be charging $32.96 because we'll be pulling a credit report for each person. Please make sure you're filling this out prior to us moving forward for your counseling sessions. Additionally, this is a list of documents that you will be needing for your initial coaching or counseling appointment. We will give you this list again when it's time for you to book the appointment, but we always like to give you a heads up ahead of time so you know what you can start collecting. So again, what do I do next? Well, this is the third and final portion of our presentation for our homebuyer orientation. Make sure you fill out the questionnaire and submit it back to TRIP. The questionnaire will be sent out to the email address that we have on file. Please make sure to check your spam filter if you do not receive it within a timely manner. Sometimes our emails do go to people's spam or junk files. If you have any questions, make sure you include them on the survey. The next step after that is that you're going to complete your online portal and your authorization. So head back online, fill out those authorizations, make your payment on the portal for that soft credit pull of $16.48, and then we're going to contact you within a week with your next steps. Again, if you have any questions, make sure you're putting it on that questionnaire so we can make sure we're addressing your next steps appropriately. Thanks so much for attending our homebuyer orientation, and we look forward to talking to you soon. Bye.